It doesn't even feel like that long ago that I picked up the DJI Mavic Air, which was my first drone. Crashed it a couple times, had it repaired a couple times, still runs great. And then DJI came out with the Mavic Air 2. I picked it up and I fell in love. You know what, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it wasn't that long ago. DJI is like competing against themselves. And they just keep taking drones and making them better. And then it's like, oh, there's no competition, but fuck you, we're still putting the drones out. And now, the Air 2S. In my opinion, DJI's best drone that they've made yet. We are now upgraded to a 1-inch sensor, 5.4K, basically 6K if you shoot 6K video. This is probably the drone to get. I'm sure there isn't a single person out there that can tell that you upscaled 5.4K to 6K. So pretty much a 6K drone with a 20 megapixel, 1-inch sensor, and a lot of tricks up its sleeve. Yeah, man, there's mad flies. This shit is going in my face. Going right in my face, cuz.
Cuz, they had a mosquito, cuz. I do like 10.
So when it comes to sound, noise, I mean, you guys can hear it right now. It's probably about... How high you say that is, babe? 40 feet? 30 feet?
It's like 25 feet.
Alright, yeah, 25, 30 feet in the air. That's what it sounds like. Now I want to talk about the zoom. Digital zoom. Never really a fan of it. But sometimes I am. Alright, so there's this really grimy looking swamp right here that has a lot of detail. So I just pulled over on the side of the road. There's not really much room for me to get out. So I'm not gonna get out. Just gonna fly it right out the sunroof. And they are hunting right now. Do you hear those gunshots?
Yeah, man, we're gonna get shot. This isn't good.
Oh, there might be a gun shooting range over here, babe, because they ain't that many animals out here. They are bucking shots. They got deer attacking them by the herds.
I was so delayed with all those movements.
It's okay, we'll just cut it out.
Maybe it's not connecting here because there's a goddamn gun range about 5 feet away from us.
Shit, there's a power line right above us. Sony FX3 that we're shooting with right now has a zoom rocker on there, which I have set to clear image zoom. And if you don't know what clear image zoom is, basically it's using the camera's extra pixels to be able to crop in a little bit more without really losing any noticeable definition in your image. And because we could shoot in 5.4K, we have some extra room when we're shooting in 4K. The ×2 option looks really good. Like really good, like you almost can't even tell that you're digitally zoomed in. Again, because you have that extra resolution to play with. Anything beyond that, not for me. I'm perfectly fine with just the ×2 option. Thank you for that. 4 is a little soft. I didn't even go into 1080p to try the rest of the crop modes because I'm not shooting in 1080p in 2021. But you could best believe, did I move this tape? You could best believe that I will be using that 2x digital crop. But DJI, please, I am begging you right now. You need to make that digital zoom available in the 10-bit D-Log and HOG options. Come on. Come on. If I want to zoom in, I got to jump from D-Log or HOG over to the normal color profile, 8-bit, from 10-bit to 8-bit. What are we doing there? I'm not a fan of that. So let's go over some of the reasons that I think that the Air 2S is better than the Mavic Pro 2. They both have a 1-inch sensor, but you're getting higher resolution on the Air 2S. You could only shoot up to 4K 30 on the Pro 2. On the Air 2S, you're getting up to 5.4K, 30 frames per second, and 4K up to 60 frames per second. The digital zoom looks great, and I far prefer the controller for the Air 2S over the Mavic Pro 2. We actually have a wider lens on this 1-inch sensor than we do on the Mavic Air 2. We have the equivalent of about a 22 mil on this, and we're looking at 26 or 28. 26 or 28, I think. I'm pretty sure, 26 or 28. So it's not all sunshine. Okay, we have a few problems to report. It's nothing that should keep you from buying the drone. It's more of a software thing, and it's kind of something that I did on my own. I have dropped signal from this drone immediately on my first flight, and I figured out why. Technically, the Air 2 and the Air 2S share the same batteries, but not really. So my first flight, I got the drone, I opened up the box, and I'm like, you know what? I have 3 perfectly charged batteries from my Air 2. Let me just plug those in and use those so I don't have to sit here and wait for these batteries to charge for me to be able to take my first flight. I opened it up and I basically took off right away. I did have to perform an update on the battery because it's going from the Air 2 to the Air 2S. Now let me just stop right here. Why do we have to update batteries? Why can't everything be on board of the drone? Why are we updating batteries? The battery should just be the juice. Can somebody answer that in the comment section below? I'm not the biggest drone genius on the planet. So because we have to update batteries, using the Air 2's battery in the Air 2S requires a firmware update, which I did, which I believe caused the drone to cut out mid-flight like 1.5 miles max from where I was taking off from. And that didn't happen when I used the battery that came with the Fly More combo with the Air 2S. Then putting the same battery back in the Air 2 is a no-no. It malfunctioned. It was doing this crazy warpy thing, like it was looking for a different focal length. So it's a little bit of an issue there because you can't really downgrade the firmware upgrade that you did to get it to work for the Air 2S. So once you go to the 2S, you can't go back to the 2. But it is a little misleading. I'm sure there are other people out there that have the Air 2 that picked up the Air 2S that have used the battery. So if you have done that, if you own the Air 2 and then picked up the Air 2S and used the battery, let me know if you dropped any signals or anything weird has happened, because it's definitely not completely compatible. It's the same battery, but something's off there. I would have thought we would have been able to track in 4K 60 this time around since we couldn't last time around. I'm just not understanding these limitations. Again, I don't build drones. I don't know how to build things that fly. I'm still in shock that we still have this technology. Honestly, every time I take off, I'm like, this is incredible. This is incredible. We also have to clean up these limitations with the D-Log and a 10-bit. That digital zoom, at least give us that 2 times digital zoom, because that's the clear one. That's the one that it's almost indistinguishable. It's that good. But somebody like me can't really use it because I like to shoot in log. I like to color. Come on. So to answer any questions, if you have the Mavic Air, should you upgrade? Yes, absolutely. You should have upgraded when the Air 2 came out, because to me that was a big upgrade. If you have the Air 2, should you upgrade? I don't like to tell people to spend their money. For me, it's a noticeable, very noticeable upgrade. They look exactly alike, and yes, they have the same controller, but who the hell cares about aesthetics? It's all about the finished product. 10-bit, 1-inch sensor, D-Log, not D-Cine-like, the digital zoom. There are a lot of improvements across the board from the Air 2S to the Air 2. They could have got away with just calling this the Pro 3. Honestly, they could have just called this the Pro 3. For real.
I don't need no more good reasons to leave the seasons. This breezes Jesus. The seizures about as cool as my t-shirt. This chick is old school like Shelto Adidas. She feed me shellfish, I need it. Since I don't eat beef or chicken, pork always bleeding. Y'all had enough of your summer, go leave and go back to Bummer, Ohio. Why only wild out on the weekends?